Hi, my name is Deborah Henney. I'm a wife, author, mother, speaker. And today I want to release a prophetic word called Timing in the Turnaround, which I originally received on November 24th of 2022. And I felt the Lord say, there is a churning and a turning. There is a timing to the churning and a timing to the turning for the turnaround. Many have been waiting, some their entire lives, for promises I've spoken into them to come to fruition. But just as a tree in the natural will bear fruit in its season, so your lives will bear fruit, much fruit, in the seasons that I have timed. And yes, timed perfectly, even though for many it has felt like a delay. There is no delay, only development. There is a timing in everything, a perfect orchestration. I am syncing timing to my cadence, my rhythms and seasons, and timing to the call for each one. There is a timing in business, a timing in ministry, and a timing in relationships, and synchronizing to the cadence is essential. I am releasing supernatural synchrony to release supernatural workings and blessings. This is a synchrony of my spirit, and as such is an inner working that I am threading until the composition is complete within, so there will be no loss to the harvest and no unripe fruit or fruit gone sour. Do not look to others for your timing. Look only to me, for I am the composer, arranger, and conductor, and the one who is able. Do not look to others and get discouraged. Do not look to others and allow your heart to be poisoned by jealousy or inadequacy. Look to me, who is the author and perfecter. Look to me, who is more than enough. Look to me, who covers and completes. I raise one up and at the same time ask another to sit at my feet, but both are perfectly in my plan. There is a turnaround coming. Wait for it. There's a turnaround coming. Step into it. There's a turnaround coming. Rejoice in me in it. Whew. So this is a word that I believe that the Holy Spirit is speaking to many people throughout the body, throughout the nation, and even throughout the nations. That there have been things that God has spoken into your life, promises that He has given you, visions that He has seeded in your life, that He is now birthing and bringing into fruition. And the encouragement here is do not be discouraged by the timing, because God's timing is perfect. We may not always understand as people. We may kind of fall into our perspectives of what we think, or we think, oh, I'm ready now. But you know what? God knows the innermost parts of our hearts and the parts that we don't even know ourselves. And God does not want unripe fruit or fruit that winds up going sour. He wants fruit that is perfect, that is ripe, that is heavy, that is ready. And only God knows when that has occurred, because He's the one who orchestrates all. It's a timing thing. Anybody who works in farming, especially with things like corn, knows that the timing of that harvest is essential. For example, we have blueberries in our backyard, and I kind of get a little aggravated because the birds always seem to have their timing for when the fruit is right for them, like one day before it's right for us people. So we get like one blueberry or two blueberries off the bushes, and the birds get most of them. But my point is that if we were to pick that blueberry ahead of the bird, or at the same time as the bird, it would be unripe to us and would be sour. So if we allow Satan to come in and to steal, and we step into fear that we're going to lose something and that fruit isn't going to happen, then we're falling into a trap of fear, and we're not walking in empowerment. We're letting Satan steal the promise from us and steal that fruit that God has for us in our lives and through our lives, the blessing that He wants to bring to other people through the blessing that He's given us and the gifts that He's given us. So what He's saying here is He is developing you. There is no delay. There is only development. So take heart and be encouraged that if you feel like, man, this is a long season and this is a hard season, don't give up. Keep pressing into the Lord. Keep waiting at his feet. Keep seeking his heart and spending time in his presence and obeying every little step, no matter how big or how little it seems, even if it seems so small and insignificant, like who cares, God? God cares, because if he asks you to do it, there's a work that he wants to do in your heart through that, even if it's just making you moldable and making us, not you, but like all of us, more obedient and more apt to do what he wants, when he wants, the way he wants. Because that is so crucial to really fulfilling the plan that God has for each one of us, is that we do his will when he wants, the way he wants. So again, there's no delay, only development. God is orchestrating the ripening of the fruit in its season, in the right time. So every tree bears fruit in its season. So if you think of yourself as a tree planted by the Lord, don't compare your tree to somebody else's tree. Just because there's a chronological age similarity does not mean that the timing of release is going to be identical, because every one of us is our own tree and has our own fruit and our own function. And so God has his timing perfectly orchestrated for each one for the purposes that he has. And we just need to really stand in that truth and stand in that trust, because when we do, the word here is there is going to be much fruit. And that was all caps, because it was so heavily emphasized in my spirit that there is so much fruit to be had in our lives and also through our lives in the world, in the harvest and in blessings to other people that he wants to bring. But we have to trust that we are exactly where we are right at this moment in his will, as long as we're saying, yes, Father, your way, all the time. So again, it's a cadence to the heart. It's a synchronizing, a timing, and a rhythm. In the sense there was that rhythm of his heartbeat, staying in step, in perfect synchrony with the rhythm of his heartbeat. As somebody who loves music, if you're listening to music and somebody's off beat just a little bit, you can hear it. So again, he's looking to synchronize perfectly. So it's a beautiful orchestration of a revelation of his heart through each one of us. So don't be discouraged if the season is long, if the season is hard, if it feels like things are just kind of falling apart around you, because there's a churning in the turning. And that churning was a sense of kind of digging really deep and digging stuff up and out that just can't go with you into the next season. And that's part of that preparation for that much fruit. Because if we get fast-tracked into a position that we're not really ready for, because that churning and that turning process, it's like almost like a plow digging deep and bringing up underneath, up to the surface. If that hasn't happened, then the fruit will go unripe and the fruit will be sour and it won't be good. God is looking for good fruit, ripe fruit, perfectly timed fruit. So be encouraged. Stay in his heart. Do his will, his way. Yes, Father, every time. And be encouraged that there's no delay, only development. And there's a timing to the churning and a timing to the turning. And there's going to be a turnaround coming in your life, whether it's in your business, in your ministry, in both, in a relationship. But there is a turnaround coming and promises that God has spoken that he is going to fulfill. Be blessed.